All right, folks, this week I'd like to continue on with Project 1. As you can see, I've been playing around with this project since my last recording. The most significant thing is probably this design here. In this design here, I decided to take the stars that I was using instead of having one and then the other where it was. I took the basic idea of the star, duplicated it. Okay, it was a solid star. Duplicated it, made it just a touch smaller, and placed the one in front of the other, and used the Pathfinder tool, which can be found right over here if you're under the painting uh, workspace setting, and did the minus front. That made this outline star. Okay, and then once I had that, I selected that, copied it, reproduced it, copied and paste, made it smaller so the tips would touch the tips on the outside of the smaller star would touch the tips of the inside of the bigger star, and then just kept repeating the process again and again and again. Once I did that, I wound up putting it behind the gradient. You can see it right here, behind the gradient that I would normally have had in the background. I just thought it looked better, uh, just sort of, I don't know, a little more subtle. I just thought, I don't know, I just thought it looked better. Okay. Okay, let's see. Then over here we've got a pattern where I just used the rounded rectangle tool and created a series of little sections, little lengths that I just kind of put together and just used complementary colors to kind of make the thing set off a little bit. I also used an inner glow. This is not a gradient setting. This is an inner glow setting on both the background and the the objects that make up the pattern. The inner glow can be found under Effects, Stylize, Inner Glow. There's also an outer glow, rounded corner, scribble, feather, drop shadow, all that stuff, which, you know, if you want to play with, you can. Okay? Well, cancel that. I realize my rectangle tool was still selected. Okay, so I think today what I'm going to do is I'll go over the negative positive one, and you know, we'll see what more we can get to. Um, Now, before I do anything else, because I like the way I have things set right now, I'm going to select all on active artboard. That means everything. And I am going to lock all of it. Okay? That way I won't accidentally select something that I don't want to select, something that's already done, and move it by mistake. Okay? It's always a good idea to do that. You can always change it back to unlock when you're done. Okay? So for the negative positive, what I'd like to do, I was looking over some, oh, I guess you'd say scientific, you know, journal things the other day, and I was looking at this sort of a Doppler representation, okay, which is, you know, sound, which is you know, sound coming and going. Um, anyway, it just kind of gave me an idea about like some different kinds of designs I could come up with. Okay, I'm going to go back to using the probably the rounded rectangle tool here, like I used over here, but I'm going to use it in a different way. Now, before I do anything else, I'm going to set my fill and stroke to the default. Okay, I'm going to set that to default, and I don't think I'm going to put in a background here. I'm just going to leave this with a white background because the negative positive needs to be black and white anyway. All right, so we'll go ahead and select our rounded rectangle tool. Okay, and I think before I do anything else, I'm going to set what now that my rectangle tool is selected, I'm going to set it with black fill and no stroke. Okay, everybody see that? No stroke right there. And then I'm just going to make a shape right there. Now, what I'm going to do, though, before I go too much further, um, this will probably work. I'm going to grab my select tool and I'm going to drag. See these little dots here in each one of these corners? These allow you to adjust the curve of the corner. Okay, so we've got kind of a, you can go all the way almost to completely round it. I don't want to quite that round though. I think I like something more like along those lines. I'm going to make it a little bit longer too. Now this is where locking the stuff outside of where your workspace is a good idea, because I could easily accidentally click on this box here or one of these shapes here and mess it up. Okay, I kind of like that. I think that might be something I could do something with. Now that I have that set, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that shape and I'm going to copy that. Okay, and then I am going to paste it. Okay, now next thing I'm going to do though is I'm going to take this shape and I'm going to make it a little bit smaller, but I'm going to take my corners back out, because notice that when I made the shape smaller, the corners did not change. So I need to take those back out so they more or less match the original. Now I'm going to grab both of these and I'm going to align them. Across the top here are a lot of handy tools that you can use, and one of them is our alignment chart. So I'm going to align center and vertical align center. Okay, that way they are perfectly aligned. Okay, next, while they're both still selected, I'm going to go over here to the Pathfinder. Okay, now if you are still set on essentials, okay, you might want to put on painting or something else that's more useful. I've said it before, I'll say it again, I do not like essentials. Okay, I have it set for painting, so if you can't find the tools that I'm using right now, set your workspace for the painting workspace. It's right here, easy to find. All right, so there's our Pathfinder. All right, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the minus front to do that. Okay, I kind of like that sort of a shape. It has this sort of a, I don't know, 70s science fiction, kind of feel to it. Okay, now that is its own shape. Okay, and next, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this. So I'm going to copy it and I'm going to paste it. Now that it is its own shape, all right, I should be able to alter this and the arc of the corner should stay the same. Okay, all right, I'm kind of liking how that looks there. Okay, I like that quite a lot. I'm going to make sure I have both these selected. Grab this one, hold on my shift key, grab this one, and we'll do the same thing. Or we can align horizontal center and align vertical center. It was pretty well aligned anyway. Cool. Okay. Now let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and just hit paste again, because we've got the larger one here, and I'm just going to make that bigger still. Okay. We've got these intersect lines that show up sometimes. Those are really handy. They can tell you when something is actually centered or not. Okay, that looks pretty cool. I like that. And let's go ahead and instead of just hitting paste again, what I'm going to do is well, this one's still selected, I'm going to copy that. So I don't have to make it quite as big. I'll paste it again. So the bigger one was what was replicated this time. And now I'm going to just make this bigger still. And you can see again why I have my other stuff locked. This is getting pretty big. Now, not all of this is going to be in the final design, right? Okay, let's see. That's probably close to being big enough, but I'm not sure. We could always just grab the whole thing and make the whole thing bigger or smaller, depending. So let's go ahead and grab this, everything there, and we are going to group that. Okay, now if I click on one, I click on the other. Okay, I'm going to make this just a little bit bigger. And let's see how that looks tilted. Actually, I don't think I want to do that just yet. Do scale, undo scale. There. Okay, I ungrouped those because I think I need to make this a little bit bigger yet. So I'm going to grab this one, the largest one here, and I'm going to copy that and paste it again and do the same thing all over again. Hold down my shift key, drag from the corner, and pull this way out. So we got a lot of extra here. Okay, but I think it's looking kind of cool. Let's go ahead and that looks about right. So let's go ahead and grab this, and this, and this, and this. Okay, and we'll make sure those are aligned and aligned. See how handy that is? And then let's go ahead and we'll group them now, and we'll make it a little bit smaller. Okay, a little bit smaller still. All right, let's try it there. Arc this a little bit. Okay. All right, I think I kind of like. I'm trying to figure out where I want to have this centered within the frame. I think that should probably do it. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the extra. Okay, so I'm going to zoom in here a little bit so I can see what I'm doing. Take my eraser tool, and I'm just going to line it up with the top of the box. Okay, I'm going to hold down my shift key, and I'm just going to run it along there. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing starting down here. Make sure I have it aligned. Hold down my shift key, run it along there. Remember, holding down your shift key will make it go in a straight line. It will constrain the direction that you go in. So holding on my shift key, hit it again, and hold on my shift key over here and hit it again. Okay. Now I can take my direct select tool, grab the stuff that I don't want, get rid of it. Okay. All right. There's my negative positive so far, but I want to do something. I want to do a little bit more though. So let's see. These are all still grouped. Cool. The next thing I'm going to do, like I said, I was inspired by sort of a Doppler thing that a little chart representing a Doppler diagram. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to put a circle in the center of this thing. Just hold on my shift key so it's perfectly circular. Constrains it. I'm going to put that right in the center. It looks like the center right about there. Let's see. That looks too much like an eye, so I'm going to take that down a little bit more. Looks about right. Okay. And now the last thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and group those as well. That way I won't move it by mistake or something. And the last thing I'm going to do with this design is I want to have some sort of a knockout shape going toward the center of that eye. So I'm going to select my my polygon tool, but instead of just making a polygon like that, I'm going to click once. Okay, when you click once, it allows you to change how many sides that you have in your polygon. So I'm going to take this down to 3, and that will make it a triangle. Okay, so I'll take my triangle, and I'm going to set it right about here somewhere, whatever looks about right. Then I'm going to take my direct select tool, and I'm going to take the one anchor point right there, that central anchor point, and I'm going to put that right in the center, dead center right there, and I'm going to also change the angle on this so it's a little closer to what the angle of these bars are. Okay, and now I'm going to select each of these, this grouped part right here, and my new triangle right here. I'm going to go back to the Pathfinder tool, and in this instance, I'm going to do exclude. Okay, and what that does, you can see what that does. That's where the shapes are overlapping. It excludes. It makes kind of a cool effect, I think. Okay. Now, last little bit that I want to do here. I'm going to grab this guy and again clean off the extra that I don't want, like so. All right, Control 0. There we go. There is my scale, my negative positive, and my pattern. Okay. Let's go ahead and grab this, and we'll lock that as well, lock selection, so that everything that I've done so far is locked and ready to go. And now I'll just hit save, and we're all set. Okay, all right, so shorter video this time. I just wanted to show you how to use the Pathfinder tool to create some kind of cool designs in Illustrator. Okay, look forward to seeing the rest of you guys' stuff. I'll talk to you later.